Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Lorenz Hour. I am currently in production for one of the most complicated LEGO animations that I have ever made over on my other YouTube channel, BrickBob Films. It has wrung me dry of my energy. I just got off of work and I'm very tired. So I figured what better way to become thoroughly relaxed than by revisiting one of my most ambitious stop-motion projects ever that for some reason has kind of been forgotten about. LEGO Conker's Bad Fur Day Total War. This was a stop-motion animation project that was not at all related to LEGO SpongeBob, which was my full-time job at the time. This was a pure passion project based on one of my all-time favorite video games, Conker's Bad Fur Day. You all know it. It is gleefully vulgar, bright and colorful, and spectacularly British. What more could you want? I'll never forget mowing lawns during the summer to save up for my first copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day, which at the time was a pretty rare game, and playing it when I was 12 years old, and yeah, enjoying its rated M glory. If I were on my deathbed tomorrow, Conker's Bad Fur Day is one of those games that I will be playing. But we're not here to talk about the game, we're here to talk about the animation. As a lot of you know, Conker's Bad Fur Day is a video game that blends cinema with video gameplay. It's really like a playable movie. The final level of the game is a war level where Conker has to infiltrate a military base occupied by evil teddy bears. At the time, I really was thirsting to make a project that was different than LEGO SpongeBob. This is a pretty long animation, and I have not watched this in years, like actually years. This is definitely going to be pretty rough, but I'm excited to revisit it, so without further ado, let us begin. Oh boy, I like using my fingers to simulate the opening eyes effect.
Hit me on the head. Huh. Where am I? What's this doing on my head?
Oh yeah, so obviously none of the characters are squirrels, including Conker. There are plenty of regular Lego man heads, but definitely not any for squirrels, so I decided to just skip the whole squirrel bit and make them human beings, including Conker. I think I was trying to make the Conker Lego minifigure look like how Chris Seaver did, who was the creator and voice actor of Conker. I don't even know if he wears glasses, but I do think he had red hair at some point, so creative liberty, everybody. Actually, the gray bricks that are being used throughout this project, I actually still have them. They're right here. These are the same gray bricks that I have been using in my BrickBob Films LEGO SpongeBob videos for years afterwards. Yeah, definitely got my money's worth from these. Oh my god. So at the time, the stop motion program that I was using, it was called Sam Animation. I think it still does exist. It's under a different name. But in the program, there was an option where you could edit individual frames. I don't remember exactly when I discovered this feature, but this was a feature that I eventually started to do a lot. As a matter of fact, I remember when I started animating using Dragon Frame, I was really upset that I could no longer do that anymore. And looking back, yeah, I'm very glad that I no longer do that. It's really charming here, but by no means does it belong anywhere near professional work. I like the effects with the bullets though, that's pretty fun. Okay, so Stuff like this is stuff that I kind of miss sometimes. When I started out doing stop motion animation, I would film with a webcam. I had no knowledge about cameras. I did not even want to touch a camera. It looked far too cumbersome. A webcam was just a very simple little device that you plugged into your computer using a USB. Super cheap, super affordable, and far less intimidating to child me. But because a webcam is so small, I remember I was always able to like weasel it in to the Lego sets because the Legos really aren't that much smaller than the webcam. So I could find ways to like do POV shots and really put the audience in with the Lego environments. And yeah, that's just not something that you can really do with cameras as easily, generally speaking. It can be done, but you could tell that I'm clearly like holding the camera and continuously taking frames. You can see my hand movements. That's cute stuff. So, how did I get the audio for this video? I did not rip anything from a YouTube video gameplay or anything like that. I distinctly remember taking my computer and my Blue Yeti microphone, placing it on my desk in front of my TV, making sure no one was home so I wouldn't be disturbed, hitting the record button on my computer, and I recorded myself playing through the whole thing all in one go. But also, unsurprisingly, I didn't have a capture card, so I couldn't record audio directly from the source. By all means, it was a very primitive setup for recording the audio. But oh my god, I was just so determined to make this that I just found a way to make it work, and I went ahead with it anyway.
Gotta clear him out, boy. What was that you say?
The blood effects, very, very grisly.
Okay, soldier. Move it out.
Oh my god. This iMovie effect, what? I guess I did do some editing after all. So I never did any editing on my oldest animations, like when I was starting out. I would just animate all day, then export the project, then put it directly on YouTube. Just no editing whatsoever. But there were a couple instances where I would put a project into iMovie and then add text over it. This was one of those instances. However, I would usually run into issues where the footage would get cropped because I didn't know how to uncrop it, because I was a young, foolish child that didn't know any better. So don't make my mistake. If you are a 10-year-old who only puts footage into iMovie under the condition that you absolutely need to have a bad text graphic to show over it, remember to uncrop the footage, because that's something you can do. I love the lasers. I love what I did, having them come in the middle. That's so great. But no, I actually still have all of this stuff, like these little sandbags, which I ordered on eBay. All the stuff is really cool, even though it's not official Lego, but yeah. Wait, actually, let's have a look, because I know that I have the stuff here. Yeah, I don't believe it. It was behind me the entire time. Oh, they're all right here. Look at that. I don't know why, but of all the Legos I've had over the years, I've just managed to keep an iron grip on all of these. I think it's because I just never had a need for any of these after filming. Look, he even has the original gun that he's using in the animation. Look at that. I don't even know what this head is from. But yeah, no, this is great. Here's the little gun that Conker used. Oh my god. I even have characters to come in later in the animation. Oh yeah, and here they are! Yo, look at that. Yeah, I have the little turrets too that show up numerous times in this animation. I even ordered these glowing light up Lego bricks for certain shots in this animation. So in the game, there's all of these claustrophobic, scary hallways that you have to go through, and Oh man, just it worked so well with the webcam. I was able to really follow the character along for this animation. I just wish that the red light had more impact because it's being washed out by this overhead tungsten light bulb. Oh god. Is he gonna do a jump? Is he gonna do a flip? That's so great. Little 13-year-old me is doing cinematic shots, third-person shots, and first-person shots all throughout the animation, and just like it's charming to see when I choose to do that and when not to. But no, I love it. This is really charming. I mean, of course, the cutscenes are like the most important material to animate, most cinematic, but animating enough gameplay interluding between each cutscene was also very important to really make you feel like you're part of the adventure. You know, I think another reason why I was so compelled to animate this entire project was because when I was young, I was a really big fan of a Lego stop motion YouTuber called, I think the channel is called Michael Hickox. He did a lot of like family friendly, very pristine, very cute Lego stop motion animations, but I particularly remember that during his earlier projects, he did like a Lego Secret Agent mission and a Lego Ninja mission where you would have one character having to invade a hostile, dangerous fortress and fight guards. And I just remember watching those and thinking, oh my god, I want to make stuff like this. In following seeing those, I did make a Lego Ninja animation that was never even uploaded to YouTube. I'm going to have to publish it and talk about it sometime just so I can share it with you guys, as well as some Lego animations that I made on this channel way long ago, back when this channel was called like LV Studios, but that's a subject for another video.
Okay.
The electricity effects. He looks totally fine. He's like, he's not even fried like the character in the game. Yes, okay, I did do that foreshadowing thing. I genuinely was curious if I even did that, because it's been so long since I've watched this. So, in Conker's Bad Fur Day, when you're exiting this turret room, there is a very crude blueprint on the wall foreshadowing what the final boss is going to be, and I was wondering if I would implement that into this project, but yeah, I did. This Bionicle bear mask, which we'll get into later. And I like that little effect that I did with the light up bricks. The batteries died pretty quickly after I finished wrapping up filming for this project, but I definitely used them to the fullest extent for this project.
That up there. It's like bombing.
Ooh, those bomber planes are so rough. You know, like, this animation, honestly, is not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Like, the animation itself is pretty competent, and the sets don't look bad. I think that one of the worst parts about this project, honestly, is just the lighting. Like, when you play the game, every single shot is dark and moody, and there's variety in the lighting, and it really highlights the claustrophobia and danger of the situation, but the lighting looks exactly the same in every single shot of this animation, and it looks like a dentist's office. When I was young, the way I thought about lighting when it came to animation was there's either light or it's dark. That's it. A completely binary approach to lighting, which is why my lighting has completely sucked up until like last year when I started paying attention to it. Don't make my mistake. Lighting and color grading communicates a lot and is such an important part of filmmaking. So another interesting thing to note about this animation is I think this was one of the first projects I worked on where I had the audio first and then I animated along to it. Now, of course, in animation, that is not an unusual thing at all. You want to have the audio first so you can animate along to it, so you can get the timing right. But guess what? For the first few years that I did animation and Lego stop motion, I would animate first and then record over it and try to sync up with the animation. I don't know why, I just thought that that was easier for some reason. Obviously, that sounds so needlessly difficult and inefficient, but for some reason, when I was a kid, that was just how I preferred to do things, and that was how I got comfortable doing animation. But I'll never forget, one day I was animating Lego SpongeBob dying for pie, and I was so disappointed with how poorly synced up the audio was with the animation that I said, all right, I'm gonna try making an episode with the audio first, then animate to it, and it turned out so much better. And from that point forward, I never did it the old way again.
Yeah, my parents are bound to have some cash. Oh, yeah! Yeah, that was a blast. Right. Now, to sort out the ransom. Rescue the little girl.
Oh god, this part of the game. I remember you have to like blow up like a whole bunch of submarines and it's so difficult and takes forever. So I think that for some particularly frustrating points of the game, I planned out when I would stop the recording process so I could kind of go through it and then hit the record button to try and make it not noticeable. It's so cute to like rewatch something like this and see what really crude techniques you were willing to do just to get your film done when I was young. And it's just like, it's so charming. I will say that these days I do miss the times where I would just animate and then upload the file to YouTube and that be the end of the story. Oh boy, long before the days of, editing and presentation. What differentiated the, I guess, cinematography of this project compared to Lego SpongeBob episodes was I was filming this project using a special webcam that I bought that had a manual focus ring. So one of the biggest problems that I had filming for Brick Bob Films when I was a kid was that the program that I animated with did not have an option to adjust the focus. This is why so many close-up shots in my old Lego SpongeBob videos are all blatantly and unapologetically out of focus. It wasn't because I didn't care, it was simply because I could not get the focus to work almost all the time. And the webcams that I was filming with at the time, they have a mind of their own, and they were just designed to film you during Skype calls. They were definitely not designed for photography. What made this project unique was this was, I think, one of the first projects where I was able to do manual focus because I remember what this camera looked like. It was released by the same company that made my stop motion animation program. The camera had this long adjustable neck and this stand that you could plant down on the desk. And not gonna lie, it was a pretty cool piece of hardware. Oh my god, this Bionicle was perfect for this project. Prior to filming this animation, I knew that I would need some cool puppet to depict the evil experiment monster creature. So I started looking at Bionicles on eBay, and I found this bear Bionicle. I don't remember what series it was, but I remember seeing it and just thinking, this is perfect. He's a bear. That's all you need. He's mechanical, he's weaponized. It was just the absolute perfect thing. Unfortunately, this is one of those artifacts from this video that I don't have. I don't know if I sold it or got rid of it, but whatever. I definitely don't have it anymore. Do miss him, but I'm sure you can buy more of him online.
I'm the brains and the eyes, and he's the brawn.
Quick, get out the way. I'm taking over.
Okay, so now that I've remembered filming with that goofy-looking, long-necked webcam, I now see how it's being influenced in this project. Because the camera had such a long neck, I had a way easier time filming this Bionicle character who is so tall compared to everything else on the set. But also the way that the camera will pan side to side, I can see that it's me like sliding the base, which is creating that pan effect. And not only that, but all of the lower level shots that show the minifigures are kind of at a Dutch angle. They're like not leveled properly, which is probably because I couldn't get the neck of the camera to be perfectly straight every time. Like, the camera had a neck like this. It was one of those like heavy, rigid, not intended for precise movements kind of things.
Now this is very special. High energy inverted magneto laser with a 6-pronged attack.
Oh my god, this is great. This is so much fun. I like the poses he strikes, and I like the way I incorporated his myriad of weapons into his armor and how I articulated it, like the laser and the rockets and the turret and his head turning into a giant machine gun. It's just so much fun. And that tank going around in circles avoiding the laser is just, it's just so great.
Oh, you're awake. Come over here, boy. Come on, look at this.
Yeah. What's a terrible thing, you know?
You're right there.
Oh, I even gave credits to the people involved in Conker's Bad Fur Day. I forgot about this. I like the credits over the dialogue. Very artsy. I don't remember any of that stuff in the credits, like asking for a new game. It was because I enjoyed Conker's Bad Fur Day so much the first time I played through it, and it was one of the most memorable experiences I ever had playing a game campaign growing up. And I really wanted there to be a sequel to the game, and I wanted to, like, bring awareness to it. But really, I think that this just goes to show you that this was just a pure passion project. I knew it didn't make any sense whatsoever as YouTube content. It wasn't related to Brick Bob Films or anything else. It was just a pure passion project made with my love of stop motion and Conker's Bad Fur Day. This was one of those projects where I just got to lock myself in a basement and just have time with me and the sets and create something that I thought people would enjoy, but mainly that I enjoyed making. It was definitely before content creation felt very commodified like it does nowadays. But overall, it was just such a fun ride, and it has been years since I watched this animation, and I'm glad that I got to document this. Also, I'm still getting used to doing this, but please remember to drop a like down below and check out my Patreon as well as the other links in my description. And please feel free to suggest ways that I could improve my content in the comments, or if there are any things that I could specify on in relation to animation or what I do in future videos. Thank you all so much for joining me on this fun journey into my past animation projects. This has been an absolute blast, and I'm looking forward to exploring more projects with you in the future. Have yourself a super day, and I'll see you next time.